How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Let's go then. Match number 31 of this year's Indian Premier League as the Kolkata Knight Riders take on the Punjab Kings. Contrasting last outing for both teams. Shreyas Iyer just saw the most insane chase against the Sunrisers. On the other hand, Ajinkya Rahane just brushed aside CSK at the Chepauk. And now Shreyas comes up against the team that he led to an IPL title less than 12 months ago. Build up on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Members of a mutual admiration society reunite in Ian Bishop and Ambati Rayudu. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Rayudu, I regret giving you a day off yesterday. CSK won and you weren't there with us. Did you sleep well at night, Ambati, that your former franchise got that much needed win?
No, I don't know much about the win, but I'm happy that they got into a fight and they really competed well in that game, especially in fielding. You saw that catch from Tripathi that set the tone. So I was happy that they were out there to really prove a point, and eventually they won. They played well, but LSG played badly, I felt.
Yeah. Did you miss some real CSK passion yesterday, Bish, with Abhinav and Wasim there, and the absence of Ambati? Do you welcome him back on your side?
I felt it in my spirit, even in the absence. There's no real distance in CSK partnership. So I felt the joy from a distance for him.
I'll tell you what else I regret, Bish. That I gave Matt Roller an off yesterday. And I'll tell you why. Comments in last night's show, and you were with us. About 5 or 6 comments going, where is Matt Roller? I'm here only for Matt Roller.
Oh.
Matt Roller fan club assemble.
Right.
All from the same account, but 5 or 6 tweets nonetheless, 5 or 6 comments nonetheless.
I told my dad he's got to start making different names on them next time.
Welcome back, Matt. I hope you have something exciting for us today. Let's talk Punjab Kings, who have once again won the toss at New Chandigarh and decided to bat first. They seem to be a team that is actually quite liking to set the score, not really a trend of the tosses so far. Rayudu, Shreyas Iyer has batted first.
I think that's a good move, especially at Mullanpur, where you can defend the ground. Size is big, and also we have seen them bat well in the previous game that they've batted there. And Priyansh Arya, after a knock like that, he would love to see at least another batsman in his team go out there and bat like that. Nehal Vadera started well.
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer himself started well,
form?
But he's in top form coming from Hyderabad. I'm sure their strength lies in their batting, so that's the way they're going.
Yeah, it's a point you raised yesterday, Bish, isn't it, about the balance this year? Teams batting first, actually, it's not been lopsided and whatnot. I wonder how long before more and more captains actually think this is a better way to go, set the tone.
Yeah, I think, and when you do it, though, when you bat first, you have to put significant runs on the board more often than not. So that's the caveat there. But as we go through the season, things might evolve with pitches and with dew as well. One of the reasons that Shreyas was disappointed that they lost the first game at Mullanpur was that he thought there'd be dew in the evening. There wasn't. And so he went the other way the next game, and that worked well. So he's going to be hoping again that the same sort of conditions reveal themselves.
Yeah. What we know of New Chandigarh, the new name of Mullanpur, is batting first seems to be the way to go?
Yeah, well, it's a new name and a new surface as well. And last year we didn't see a single score of 200 plus there, and this year it's been 3 out of 4 innings so far, so high scoring. Shreyas has also very much gone against the grain by batting first. He's the only captain still to have won the toss and chosen to bat in a night game. He's now done it 3 times, so clearly something that he and Punjab feel pretty comfortable doing.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. They wouldn't be too bothered having lost that game against Sunrisers. It's one of those that you can actually smile about and say that'll never happen again. Or can it?
I think that was quite unreal what SRH have done in that game because chasing 240, the kind of batting that those guys have come out and done, and against Punjab, who looked good, and to be fair to their bowlers, there was a lot of dew, and they didn't expect so much dew, and nobody expected so much dew in Hyderabad that night. You
were there, weren't you?
Yeah,
you were at the ground there.
I was there, and crowd was unreal as well in that stadium. First time it felt like IPL's back this year with such an excitement that we have seen over the years. But think where they are missing a trick is not bowling Yuzi Chahal, not finishing his overs, and his confidence seems to be a little bit low. I think that's one area they really need to work on if they have to get better in the IPL going forward.
Well, Matt has a lot to say about why they didn't use Yuzvendra Chahal. I'll come to that. Let's save it for the post show today and see how he goes against lots of left-handers in the KKR side. However, with the Punjab Kings, it looks like a strong team. It's beaten Gujarat, LSG, CSK. They've lost to Rajasthan and Sunrisers. Suddenly, though, we're reaching that midway point, Rayudu, when they start this game 6-7th. It's a team that has to string in a few wins together. Otherwise, even for a strong team, it's getting tough, isn't it?
No, they've had some good stories, but they've not been able to really have the consistency or the know-how to win those little situations in a match, which really good champion teams do and know. And I feel there's a lot of young players who are still learning their craft in the team, and somehow their big stalwarts have to step in, especially someone like Maxwell, Stoinis, and also Shreyas Iyer in few of those innings where we all thought he would get going, play till the end, he couldn't. And I feel it is time now. I think this is that time of the season where if they slack in another game or two, they might be really far behind.
Similar story for the defending champions, though, who have not won two on the trot. And I'll just wait for team news to see if your man is playing today. Because I accidentally revealed to Bish yesterday that Moeen Ali is their lucky charm, and he was very disappointed in me. He said, "Is that all you can say? Skillful player Moeen Ali and his lucky charm." He said that came from Matt, that it happens to have. And I can tell you, gentlemen, there's no Moeen Ali today. But KKR need to start winning a few on the trot themselves, Ian Bishop.
Yeah, to find some rhythm to go back to back. The first couple of games, I think they didn't quite understand how to put runs on the board. And they lost a couple, and then they finally got a 200 on the board, and then they went down to Chennai and they bowled well and then chased. So they need Andre Russell to kick in if he gets a chance to bat. It's been a while for Andre, generally in T20 cricket with the bat. But I like what I see from Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Aurora bowling well. Narayan came to the party with the ball last game, and Varun is continuing to do his thing. So it's starting to turn over nicely with the ball. They just need some more guys chipping in with the bat.
Fast approaching the midway point, and this is where Matt illuminates us on what's going on, what are we missing. So let's get into trends and patterns mid-season IPL 2025. There are some changes, by the way, at New Chandigarh, which we will come to in just a moment. But Matt, what can you tell us about trends as the halfway point approaches?
Well, what I'll say first of all is that our stats team have been digging out the numbers through the season so far and have been doing some really great work, which I've lent on in this little segment, but I'd very much recommend everyone to go and read some of their work on the website as well. But what I'll say is I've been digging around, and I'm particularly interested in power play batting and power play bowling, because I feel as though there's been a lot of games this year where there's been very high scores, where teams have been happy to lose a couple of wickets in the power play and really go for it. Also, we've seen some very attacking new ball bowling. We've also seen some teams go to defensive plans early. So what I've done is I've had a look at the numbers, and I was surprised by the extent of this. But if you look at the last 5 seasons of IPL cricket, overall scoring rights in the power play have gone up by 2 runs per over since 2021. I think everyone knew that there's been a shift, because we've obviously had some flat pitches, we've had the impact player rule, you've seen generally a trend towards attacking batting in T20 cricket. But I thought the numbers were pretty extraordinary, the extent of that shift, if you spell it out like that over the past 5 years, that you've gone from 7.7 runs per over in the power play in 2021 to 9.7 runs per over in the power play so far this year. Another thing I think is really interesting within this, firstly, is that the runs per wicket has gone up, despite the fact that teams have been scoring, have been attacking so much to be scoring at those rates, which suggests to me maybe bowling teams aren't attacking enough, maybe they're going to defensive plans too early and therefore not taking the wickets that they could be. And the other numbers within this that I thought were particularly interesting is that teams are scoring way quicker when they're batting first in the power play, which again suggests to me that teams are now willing, as we've seen from Punjab actually with players like Priyansh Arya and Prabhsimran Singh, to go really hard in the power play when they bat first. Previously, we've seen that, I would say, slightly more so in run chases when teams are looking to get ahead of the game. but now we're seeing it batting first as well. The other really notable thing, which we'll get in a second, is the six-hitting explosion in the power play. So a couple of years ago, you were looking at 27 balls per six in the power play, so maybe a six every five or six overs. Now we're down to half that, which is incredible to me. And I thought this was an incredible number. This year, there's already been 156 sixes in the power play in 30 matches. In 2021, there were 157 sixes hit in the power play in the whole season across 60 games. So whereas I think teams or opening batters used to be happy to get it over the infield in the power play, they're now thinking we have to clear the boundary because this is our best opportunity to score runs against a hard ball and really get ahead of the game early on.
Sure. Let's just clarify a few things on those numbers. The previous season numbers were entire seasons?
Correct.
Right? So this stands to be affected with half the season still intact, but you expect it to be on similar lines?
Yeah, you can see some changes in pitches can get a bit slower as IPL seasons wear on, but I wouldn't
normally
expect
halfway numbers are close to end of season numbers.
I think it's a big enough sample that we can start looking at patterns.
Okay, so what strikes you most about all that Matt has set up today? In particular, the six hitting, the batting first runs per over. What do you make of it?
I think lack of quality spinners. Bowling in the power play, I feel, is one of the reasons, because early years you used to see a lot of spin in the power play. Now you don't see that much spin. But even if there is spin, you are finding a good Indian batsman in every team tackling spin. Early years you used to have a couple of foreigners for few teams, and also Indian batsmen were not great against spin. So that's the reason why I feel there's this little shift, and also the impact player. That completely changes the mindset of the team, where you want guys to go in and really take the bowlers on. And from a bowler's point of view, I'm sure only Bish can answer that.
I wish he does. Bish?
And so what, from a bowler's point of view, what you're seeing though are different plans. You're seeing guys, and I think we were here when guys are trying, Siraj and those guys were trying to go up and under the bat. They're not the only team that have tried to do that. There have been also occasions where the two deep fielders in the power play are on one side of the playing surface to try to limit damage in as much as you're looking to get wickets. But you'd also look at the quality of some of the bowling that needs to raise its stocks as well. So I think there's a combination of factors. And that's where someone like a Vaibhav Arora, I think that's a credit to him. I know we're close halfway through the season. When you go back to 2022 when he started, you see where the run rates were?
We can bring those numbers back.
The run rates were low in comparison to last year and this year, right? And Vaibhav was going at 9 and over for his first two seasons. You could excuse him for going at 9 and over last year because the impact player came in last year. But so far this year, he's going at 8 point something, which is his lowest in a season that we're going halfway through. And this is when the run rates have gone through the roof. So that's a credit to him.
And we've got a list as well of the top performers with the ball in particular in the power play. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Bish, in terms of whether there's any pattern that you can see as to the type of bowlers we've got here. Obviously, Khalil, left arm swing bowler, someone we'd say is pretty attacking. He's got 7 power play wickets, the same as Mohammad Siraj, who's had a really good start to the year. Couple of names that strike me there who haven't necessarily taken that many wickets, but the economy rate is outstanding at the bottom in Hazelwood and Bhuvi Kumar, who have obviously been exceptional for RCB.
Yeah, Bhuvi is just like mind-blowing that he's going at just over 6. But Khalil has swung the ball. I thought he's bowled very well for the most part of the season in the power play. Siraj has gotten better, although the last game he had a little shadow. He's coming in and do his thing. I think Jofra Archer is the one who I think sometimes is bowling better than his numbers suggest, even though Phil Salt took him out of contention in that last game. So it's a combination of things. If you can get the ball to deviate on some of these grounds, I think you hit off center of the bat with guys going so hard and you're in the game. But if the pitches are flat, and when the pitches are flat, batters are just so dominant now that it's hard. So great credit. I think we need to raise the salaries of the guys who are bowling in the power play, to be quite honest with you.
No argument from me. But if I want to see those bowlers one more time and ask Rayudu if there's anything in common with how they have bowled. We think it's pretty clear all batting teams, maybe CSK is an exception because they've had a tough season, are going hard in the power play. Is there anything in common on what these bowlers by and large are doing to sort of still be in this list at this point?
I think except Jofra Archer and maybe a little bit of Josh Hazelwood, rest all are trying to swing the ball. And I think only Hazelwood is someone who is hitting good lengths and trying to get some moment off the pitch. But you generally see that if you're bowling full and trying to swing the ball, it's always tough. If the ball is hitting your stump as a batsman, you are always instinctively looking to protect yourself from getting bowled. That is an instinct of a batsman.
Right.
So anything other than that is where you're free to really hit the ball, because I think that's one area where bowlers sometimes don't think as much. With the new ball, as a batsman, if you know the ball's going to hit the stumps, you have that at the back of the mind, and you cannot hit the ball with 100% conviction. You still are in good shapes, just playing a good punch or a good shot over the bowler or your mid-off. But if it is on the onside, offside slightly shorter, or on the onside slightly shorter, you tend to be much more freer.
I think it still has to do something.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm adding to what he's saying. I agree with him. But I think you bowl to a guy like, just to bring another Englishman, I know Matt loves these conversations when I involve a British player or English player. He will go at anything. But if you can get the ball to move laterally, Mitch Marsh is another one. If it's his zone there, whatever the line, he goes down the ground. So the guys who are also getting it to do something laterally, just to take outer half, inner half, high on the bat or low on the bat, that's the big thing for me.
Yeah, I also wonder if there are notable absentees from that list who would otherwise usually be there. And whether Mohammad Shami's absence on power play wickets, Trent Bolt, whether that tells us anything at all.
Yeah, Deepak Chahar as well, you could probably throw into that mix.
No swing. No swing for Trent. Very little swing, and very little swing for Deepak.
As far as Shami, is it just down to where he's bowling?
I think Shami has been a little off, especially in the last game. Everybody can have an off day, and we can give him an off day. But he is looking to really run in and bowl fast. That's what I've seen him. Even in his warm-ups, he was really running in, bowling those balls with good pace. So he is wanting to do that, but sometimes it doesn't happen. As you know, form can be elusive. But I think he's going to come back strong. But in terms of Deepak, his action has slightly changed from the last season. He's not really leaning forward when he's running in or in his jump. His jump is not, from front to back, but it's more up and down. So maybe that's the reason why he's not been able to. And you can answer that better.
He hasn't gotten the ball to swing. But just to build on that, I think one of the key things, and I can't remember if it was Raunak in all his wisdom yesterday that mentioned it, but Jofra certainly did. And I told you this before, and I think it applies to Shami a little bit as well. When you're injured and you've been out of the game for as long as some of these guys have, Jofra's case, and I know Shami came back before the Champions Trophy, but the game has moved ahead volumes, and Jofra said it's taken him a while to come to terms with readapting to such a high intensity, high aggressive form of the game. And for Shami, he's not 25, he's now 35. And so he has to reacclimate himself.
Yeah, absolutely. That natural length of Shami, which was working 2 seasons ago at Ahmedabad, is now being whacked around a year later when he's been absent from the IPL. It's also interesting that Hazelwood has stopped bowling the first 2 or 3 now in the last few games.
Yeah.
He's bowling 5 or 4 and 6 as a combination, and I wonder if at some point maybe that role is also given to the likes of Archer or Shami. But forget Rajasthan, I don't talk about Rajasthan. But anyway, that's excellent. Anything to add on a final note, or shall we move to teams?
Happy to move to
well
teams.
Well done,
Roman.
Matt. I see you worked hard on your day off to give us those. And always good from Bishan Rayudu. Now some very interesting team news coming through from New Chandigarh. And it's a new look overseas contingent for Punjab. First game in, Josh Inglis and Xavier Bartlett. So the Aussies are being swapped around. Marcus Stoinis misses out. And Lockie Ferguson, what a shame that is. It might just be the end of the season for him. As we just try and scan through the Impact sub-bench. This is, of course, the batting first team. They'll perhaps keep their options open between Thakur and Vaishak. But Matt, Bartlett and Inglis?
Yeah, very interesting. I think Bartlett's IPL debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He's mainly a new ball bowler, which I think is interesting given you've got Janssen and Arshdeep who can also play that role, but they've played around with Janssen's overs a little bit so far this season. But yeah, he's done very well in the Big Bash with Brisbane Heat. He was the top wicket taker, not the season just gone, but the one before when they won the title. And as you can see there, the numbers are very good. But yeah, primarily someone who will bowl in the first 6, I think, rather than at the end. And obviously there's some big shoes to step into because I think Lockie Ferguson was really impressive so far this year.
Debuted in that series against the West Indies. I wonder if you caught a little bit of Xavier Bartlett there?
Yeah, just on the point of him coming in, they need that, right? Punjab Kings need that. Arshdeep, I think, has got 1 wicket in the power play this season.
Yeah, there's another one that was missed out on that list. Yeah.
Marco Janssen, I don't think, has taken a wicket in the power play, and he's in a new role. He's not using the new ball, as you said. And same with Deepak Chahar. He's not getting the first over anymore. He's getting the second over. And who knows how much of an impact that is. So they need the Yash Thakur, I think, bowled the new ball the other day.
Yeah.
And most of his success has come later in the innings, so they need Bartlett to come in and try to shore up that power play if he can bowl at his best.
That's what you've got in terms of where Xavier Bartlett is used in T20s. Nearly 60% in the power play, not as much at the death. So there's 2 phases that Shreyas Iyer can look to use him potentially. Of course, most of the T20s he plays doesn't have the impact sub option.
Yeah, and also most of them, the Big Bash has only got the first 4 overs now as a power play. And there's a second floating power play that comes back. So it's hard to keep track of all these numbers and know how much to think of them, but I think new ball specialist.
So it's not a like-for-like replacement for Lucky, because Lucky was a middle overs enforcer.
There's perhaps the indication that Vaishak might be the go-to sub today and not Thakur. How about the batting change though? Stoinis out and Josh Inglis in.
I think that's one thing about Ricky Ponting over the years that I have not liked in the IPL, because he, has this tendency to chop and change, and really you don't need to, because someone like Stoinis or someone like Maxwell, when they play 14 games, they'll always win you those 3 or 4 games, and that's all you need to qualify. And you are just, you know that English is a good player, he'll come and do good things, but at the end of the day, if you're backing players and you know that they're going to get a long run, it gives you that confidence as a team. And also the batsmen, the Indian batsmen who are young, when they see a big match winner like Stoinis being on the bench, then somehow they might also feel that if they don't get the runs, they might be dropped. So these are the small little dynamics, and the know-how of winning an IPL really matters. And teams like Punjab and Delhi and sometimes RCB have not done well over the years.
Curiously, it comes after that last game which you saw at Hyderabad, where he smashed Shami for a few sixes, and we thought, okay, now maybe that's the kind of innings Stoinis needs. But Inglis is more a top 4 batter. Wouldn't he be somewhere in the top 4 and not necessarily? Stoinis was dropped to as the result of how the innings went, last overs kind of role. And I'm trying to think of what if this is not an injury thing, firstly.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm wondering if given how well he played in the last game, I'm wondering if it might be a niggle or something like that. I don't think we've got word yet. But
okay, let's just assume it's not a niggle, because then Rayudu's point is nice and strong, right? So we'll assume that big Marcus Stoinis is not going to get a niggle like that, especially after he had a go at the Aussies in the middle in the last game, just trying to diffuse the tension. Finally, 18 years of the IPL, we got the Aussies fighting. Finally, okay. Big news for the Knight Riders as well. Moeen Ali is out, but it's not Spencer Johnson. It's Anrik Nortje's first appearance for the defending champions this year's IPL. So Nortje comes in. Let's try and make sense of that one. Bish?
I don't know if they've looked at Mullanpur. I personally thought Moeen would have kept his place. I thought he did an admirable job with the ball bowling in the power play on a different type of surface down at the Chipak. So whether they feel that there's something to be gained from the faster men at Mullanpur, it'll be a test if he's at his best for Priyansh Arya and those guys. I remember when Jofra Archer ran into Priyansh, he lasted, 1 ball or something like that. So that'll be interesting to see where Nortje bowls, first of all. If he shares that new ball with Vaibhav, who will bowl that new ball, and that is going to be another test for Priyansh, with Vaibhav taking the ball from leg to off on a good length.
Key words in Bish's line there was if he's in this form, or where he is with his form. Last year was, of course, a very tough outing for Anrik Nortje, and he has been injured considerably since, hasn't he?
Yeah, correct. I believe this is his first game of cricket full stop since the T10, which ended in early December. He's had a back injury, so he missed the SA20, missed the Champions Trophy. Clearly, they think he's ready to go if he's in the 11. And yeah, good to see him back, but let's hope he's at his best because he was one of the many bowlers to suffer at the hands of that very flat Delhi pitch last year.
Could they have gone to Spencer? Could they have stuck with Moeen or is Andrik specifically for the two uncapped Indian openers to perhaps make them a little uncomfortable?
I mean, Moeen, after he has bowled so well in the last game against CSK in Chennai, maybe he should have got another opportunity because Mullanpur is a big ground and he can bowl in the power play and against Priyansh Arya, he would have been quite effective. So I thought maybe he could have had one more game and also he can bat well. I mean, obviously we all know that.
That's okay. They don't use Russell also, where Moeen will get a chance. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Now this is interesting. Poor Moeen Ali misses out, and as you rightly point out, for superstitious people.
Yeah, causation and correlation, isn't it? But he has won. KKR have won all 3 games that he's been involved in this year, and have lost all 3 that he's not been involved in.
Did he really send you that message yesterday? Seriously, he sent you that lucky
He said it on the KKR CSK game. So, he said it that Moeen, they win every game that Moeen's been in.
So all he has to do is play 9 games.
There you go.
8 or 9 games.
Very good. I wonder if superstitions carried forward with you after your CSK days, because then you should be absent from broadcast on a CSK match day.
No, I went and met them after the game.
Yesterday?
Not yesterday.
Oh, okay.
After the game in
And
Chennai.
what magical words of advice did you give them?
Nothing. I just asked them. I just met them.
That's it.
It's good to be with a team when they're down. Yeah, it's just
Short him up, try to build.
The riders
nothing of that sort. They know how to handle these situations.
All right, let's focus.
6-time IPL champion. So.
6-time IPL champion, defending champion, looking to be first-time champion in Punjab Kings. The power play, as Matt says, has been the story of the halfway point. Let's break the conversation down once more in our Maruti Suzuki Arena presents Power Play Conversations. All right, let's see how this is going to go. And I think we'll quickly get pictures and see who's taking the new ball for KKR. Vaibhav, certainly we expect, but would you go Andrik Nokke at the other end, Ian Bishop?
I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know his form. I don't know how he's going. Harshit Rana is certainly someone that can do that job for you as well. So instead of making myself look a total fool, as I so often do, I'll let the pictures tell the story.
I have never seen you make you look like, I can't even say the line. I've never seen you looking like a total fool, ever. You've never done it, ever.
It's a very rare occasion when I don't. Very rare.
Maybe that's why.
No, I think it'll be a real test for Punjab to face KKR today, because KKR, as we were speaking about, have the know-how to play in these situations and at this time of the IPL.
Okay.
This is the real test for them, and if they pass this test, maybe there's a great chance that they qualify from here.
Yeah. Vaibhav Arora, of course, has excellent numbers against left-handers, doesn't he?
Yeah, superb. I think, as Bish mentioned, he has that natural outswinger to them. He's not necessarily someone who's going to bowl high pace, but he can really shape the new ball away from the left-handers, which is, that was exactly the delivery that Priyansh got bowled to by Jofra Archer in his first bowler. So, yeah, be a very interesting test, and interesting to see what Punjab do at the fall of a wicket too with, you imagine Shreyas will come in early, but there's a few different options today.
Of course, he would have no added motivation to be getting runs against the Knight Riders at all, would Shreyas Iyer. Right, let's get first inning scores. I can tell you also, gentlemen, that Punjab have the best numbers batting first or batting in the power play. So they're a team that likes to score big, 11.5 runs per over in the first 6. And that kept in mind. Let's get first innings predictions. Matt Roller, take it away.
I think it'll fit the trend of high-scoring games at Mullanpur, so I'll go 201.
Just trying to see if forecaster works. It's saying 182. But anyway.
Oof.
All right, need some updating. But yeah, this ground has seen bigger scores this year than previous years. Raidu?
I think I'll go with 182.
It's come to trust
because bowlers like this, who are bowling at 120s and 130s, and also the spin attack that KKR have, Punjab was going to find it tough. I think he's injured, and I don't think. I think he
We
has
saw
a
some
niggle.
visuals of Ricky Ponting talking to Marcus Stoinis. It almost seemed like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that
he
was
was
the
very
dropping,
sad
wasn't
that he was dropped. I don't know if it looked like it was an injury, but anyway, you're a better reader of body language than me.
Yeah, it looked to me as if mate, you're not in the making the cut today, kind of thing. Just take it easy. But
Okay.
again, speculation.
First inning score, Bish.
So I'm going to go 176. Sorry, I'm going to go 176.
176 for Ian Bishop. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's see where this game stands in 20 overs. Ambati Rayudu, Ian Bishop, Matt Roller. Brilliant to have the three of you, and we hope to join you. We hope to have them for the end of innings show. Join us then for Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.